Hello sports fans, it is Friday, May the 17th, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Let's start with the NBA playoffs from last night. Let's start at Madison Square Garden, where the New York Knicks beat the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks stay alive. The Pacers still lead the series 3-2 as they go back to Indiana for Game 6 tomorrow night. Listen, when they announced Hill was not going to play for Indiana yesterday because he had a concussion, I knew the Pacers were in trouble. Now, I thought the Knicks were going to win this game anyway, but once you take Hill out of the lineup with the concussion, Indiana's already playing without Granger. You knew they were going to have a tough time scoring. That was the case last night. Indiana couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. Not only couldn't they couldn't hit a shot from the field, they couldn't hit a free throw last night, Indiana. Indiana set basketball back 100 years last night, and no surprise. I mean, you take Hill off the court, no Granger. You knew Indiana would struggle. They did. The Knicks controlled this game from start to finish, never trailed. Carmelo Anthony, nice game. Felton had a nice game. J.R. Smith did some things. Copeland had a nice game for the Knickerbockers as well. They really hid this whole concussion thing with Hill for a couple days. Apparently he got hurt in the last game. No one said anything about it, and then apparently he woke up with some headaches the day of the game, so he misses the game with the concussion. I was surprised that he was not playing yesterday. We'll keep an eye on that as this series goes forward. Indiana needs him in the lineup. If he does not play tomorrow night in Indiana, that is a big advantage to the Knicks, so we'll keep an eye on this concussion situation for Hill. I mean, the Pacers desperately need him. They're already playing without Granger. Can't afford to lose Hill as well. Pacers still in the driver's seat. I expect Hill to play tomorrow. They are home. Pacers still in the driver's seat, up 3-2, but the Knicks do survive last night. They do play well. Indiana, 19 turnovers last night to go along with their bad shooting and bad free throw performance. That's not going to get the job done. So Knicks cruise last night. Knicks stay alive. Game 6 tomorrow night in Indiana. Also last night, the late game in Oakland, out in Golden State, the San Antonio Spurs beat the Golden State Warriors 94-82. The Spurs wrap up the series 4-2. You know, it's funny, as the series went along, the Spurs got better. I mean, the first 2 games, I thought the Warriors were the better team. It was 1-1. As the series went on, the Spurs' veteran leadership really took over. They put the clamps on Curry. Curry only had 22 points last night. That's a victory for the Spurs, holding him to 22. You don't want him to go off for 40. Spurs looked like the better team, and they were. They win this series 4-2. They now play Memphis on Sunday. That series will start in San Antonio. That's a very intriguing series. As far as Golden State going forward, Golden State has a nice future. They're moving to San Francisco in a brand new arena in a couple of years. Curry looks like a star as long as he can stay healthy. He does have foot and ankle problems. You'd like to see him stay healthy. Thompson looks like a good player. You have Bogut next year. Maybe he's healthy the whole season. Get a healthy David Lee back. You have Barnes. Mark Jackson's a good coach. I like the future for Golden State. They played very well in these playoffs, but San Antonio gets the job done. They go to yet another Western Conference final. They win the series 4-2. They will host Memphis on Sunday afternoon. That was kind of your NBA from last night. Over to the NHL we go last night. Up to Boston we go, where the Boston Bruins in overtime beat the New York Rangers 3-2. The Bruins take a 1-0 series lead. It's funny, early in this game, both teams looked like they had a hangover from their 7-game series. I mean, they both looked like they were hungover from their prior series. Then it started to heat up. You know, there's no score in the first. Boston gets a goal in the second period. I thought Lundqvist should have stopped that for his standards. That was a soft goal. Rangers score right at the end of the second period with like a second left to tie it 1-1. Then the Rangers, 14 seconds into the third period, go up 2-1. Then the Rangers take a bad penalty. Boston scores on the power play to make it 2-2. That's another goal that Lundqvist probably should have had. For Lundqvist's standards, because he's so good, he probably should have had both goals that went in for Boston. I mean, Boston's first 2 goals, I think Lundqvist should have had. I mean, but give the guy a break. He hadn't given up a goal in like 8 periods. You can't expect him to stop everything. But for his standards, the 2 Boston goals were a little soft for his standards. So it's 2-2. We go to overtime. From there, Boston wins it in overtime. No chance for Lundqvist on that particular goal. Boston wins in overtime. I'll tell you, Boston has a lot of karma going. I mean, they were dead and buried against Toronto. They're trailing here last night. They come back to win, so nice job by the Bruins. I think this is going to be a long series. I think it's going to be a good series. I think most of the games are going to be like this, 3-2 somebody. Now, they have an extra day off here. They don't play till Sunday. I don't like these extra days off. So I was complaining about it in the NBA forever, how they drag these series out, and the NHL's starting to do it too. The Penguins in Ottawa had an extra day off between games 1 and 2, and now the Rangers, Boston, they don't play till Sunday. I mean, do we need the extra day off? I don't understand that at all. So this series resumes Sunday afternoon. Bruins up 1-0. I think this is going to be a long series, a very tough series. Should be fabulous, fabulous hockey. As the game went along last night, the play got a lot better. Should be a really nice series. Boston gets the win last night. Also last night, in Los Angeles, the LA Kings beat the San Jose Sharks 4-3. LA goes up 2-0 in the series. Talk about another team with karma. LA has got it going again. They're down 2-0 in the series to St. Louis. They win 4 straight there. Last night, they are down 3-2 late in the game. San Jose takes back-to-back penalties. LA ties the game on a 5-on-3 late in the game. Then they score on another power play to win the game 4-3. LA's got a lot of karma going, a lot of mojo going. LA is doing everything right. I think they've won 12 in a row at home now. I think they've won, 6 in a row straight in the playoffs. Tough loss to San Jose. This is one it's very hard to regroup from. San Jose thought they had this game won, thought they were going back to San Jose 1-1. In a blink of an eye, in about 30 seconds, they go from winning to losing. Now they're down 2-0. Now they have to win Game 3. Awful, awful loss for San Jose, and they took 2 terrible penalties with less than 3 minutes to go back to back. That set it up for LA. LA with a tremendous comeback last night, so LA is up 2-0 in that series. All right, so that is kind of where you are in your NHL last night. Over to Major League Baseball we go. The Mets actually beat St. Louis in St. Louis yesterday, so the Mets actually win a ball game. Seattle beat the Yankees. 5 good innings from the Seattle bullpen. Seattle playing a lot better. They're almost at 500. They can really pitch, Seattle. Need a little offense. If they get some offense, Seattle can do some things. But they do have the pitching. They did play well at Yankee Stadium, so nice job by Seattle. They're taking the series in New York. Also, Pittsburgh beat Milwaukee. Pittsburgh is now 24-17. Nice record for Pittsburgh, and their schedule is soft coming up. So Pittsburgh's got a chance to get a good record going here. Milwaukee can't win a game. They cannot win a game. They couldn't win a game the beginning of the year. Then they were on fire, couldn't lose. Now they can't win a game. They're in last place. Could be a long year for Milwaukee. Their pitching has been terrible. Cincinnati beat Miami in 10 innings in front of another sparse crowd in Miami. Expect a lot of that the rest of the year. Texas routed Detroit. Verlander got shelled last night. Texas can do that to you. Texas still has a great lineup even without Hamilton, so Texas bombs Detroit. Not a good outing for Verlander last night. Chicago White Sox beat the LA Angels. They get 3 in the 8th to rally, and yet another loss by the Angels. Now the Angels can't even beat the White Sox at home. Boy, it's turning into a terrible year for the Angels early. Washington beats San Diego. Strasburg finally gets a win there. Nice to see Strasburg get a win. We know he's a really good pitcher. San Francisco beat Colorado. San Francisco was actually down 6-0 in this game. And you're like, wow, what's going on with the Giants? They got shelled in Toronto a couple games. Now they're getting shelled by Colorado. And typical Giants, they come roaring back. They win the game. The Giants have just championship, heart. They always seem to come back in these games. You thought they were dead in the water, down 6-0. They come roaring back to win 8-6. So nice win by the Giants. They are giving up a lot of runs, though. You don't like to see that, but I think in the end their pitching will come around. So Giants, nice win over Colorado. Colorado, bad loss for them. You're winning 6-0 in your building, got to win the game. Also last night, Boston beat Tampa Bay. Boston got 3 runs in the 9th inning to rally from 3-1 down. So that was a bad loss by Tampa. Nice win by Boston. How about Rodney, the closer for Tampa Bay? 4 walks in the 9th inning. That's not going to get the job done. So Red Sox rally and beat Tampa Bay there. Rodney, awful. 4 walks in the 9th inning. Awful, awful. All right, over to your weekend what to watch. Before we do that, let's get to the Preakness real quick. We have the Preakness tomorrow. I'm trying to find some horse that could beat Orb. I don't know what horse is going to beat Orb here. We have 9 horses in the race. You have 3 new horses departing, Governor Charlie and Titletown 5. I don't like new shooters. New shooters very rarely do well in the Preakness. I mean, if they were that good, they would have run in the Kentucky Derby. So throw them out. Then you got horses that, lost in the Kentucky Derby to Orb. You have, Oxbow, Golden Sense, who was awful in the Derby. My Loot, who's a decent horse, but do we really expect them to win? It's My Lucky Day was awful in Kentucky. Will Take Charge, I like, but can he actually win? I doubt it. To me, this is Orb's race. I mean, you want to keep an eye on some other horses. I would say Will Take Charge is a nice horse. Maybe It's My Lucky Day runs a little better. I do like My Loot. I mean, I don't like Golden Sense at all. I know a lot of people are on him. I don't like him. I don't like the new shooters. Oxbow, I mean, maybe he finishes in the money somewhere, but you can't see him winning. Can't see any horse really winning here. I mean, besides Orb. So I will go with Orb in the victory here. I just can't find another horse. Now, the Belmont will be a little different in 3 weeks because that is a much longer race. So Orb will probably have a tougher time in that race than he does tomorrow. As far as your weekend, what to watch, as far as your NBA, Friday tonight, we have nothing going on in the NBA. Tomorrow, Saturday, Knicks in Indiana, big game 6. I mean, in Indiana trying to wrap it up. We'll see if Hill plays for Indiana with that concussion. That is a major, major thing to keep an eye on. If Hill plays, I like Indiana at home. If he doesn't, I mean, Indiana is going to have trouble scoring. So keep an eye on that Hill concussion situation. Sunday, Memphis and San Antonio start their series down in San Antonio. As far as the NHL over the weekend tonight, we have Ottawa at Pittsburgh. This is game 2 with Pittsburgh leading 1-0. As far as Saturday, we have Detroit at Chicago. Chicago's up 1-0. And as far as Saturday as well, we have LA at San Jose. That is game 3. LA's up 2-0 after their big win last night. Must win for San Jose. And as far as Sunday, we have the Rangers at Boston. That is game 2 with Boston up 1-0. And we will have Pittsburgh at Ottawa. That will be game 3 at that point in Ottawa. So that is kind of where you are in your NHL for the weekend. Here are your series for Major League Baseball over the weekend. You have the Mets at the Cubs at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Tampa Bay at Baltimore, that's a nice series. You have Seattle at Cleveland, that's an underrated series. Toronto at the Yankees, we'll see if Toronto can pick up their play. Oh, keep an eye on Andy Pettitte. He left the game last night, had an upper back injury. We'll see how long he misses. Cincinnati at Philadelphia, Houston at Pittsburgh, Arizona at Miami. Plenty of seats available for that one. Dodgers at Atlanta. We'll see if the Dodgers can do anything, start to pick up their play, see if Matt Kemp can actually hit a home run. Detroit at Texas, very good series. Boston, Minnesota. Milwaukee, St. Louis. San Francisco, Colorado. White Sox and the Angels, Kansas City and Oakland, and Washington and San Diego. So that is kind of your series in Major League Baseball. Before I go, I want to touch on a couple movies. Now, the new movie out today in the theaters, if you're looking to go to a movie in the theaters this weekend, the new Star Trek is out. It's hard to believe that Star Trek is still going. How long is Star Trek going between the show and the movies? I mean, how many years has it been? Now, this new Star Trek actually looks pretty good, so if you're a Star Trek fan, the new Star Trek is out in your theaters. I read one review on it. They gave it 3 out of 4 stars. That's a pretty good review. So the new Star Trek may have some possibilities if you're looking to go to the movies. 2 movies I saw on DVD last week. I saw Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise. To me, very disappointing for a Tom Cruise movie. Now, I expect the best from Tom Cruise. I expect at least 3 out of 4 stars from a Tom Cruise movie. I would give this movie 2 stars out of 4. I would call it mediocre, bland, a step back for Tom Cruise. Wasn't great, got carried away at the end. 2 stars for me, and for Tom Cruise, very, very disappointing. Was it the worst movie I ever saw? No, but for Tom Cruise, not up to his standards. I mean, come on. Tom Cruise has got to do better than this. Jack Reacher, to me, very disappointing. Tom Cruise, by the way, does sign on to do another Mission Impossible, so we'll look for that in the years to come. I also finally saw Silver Linings Playbook. I've been meaning to see this movie for like months. I wanted to see it in the theater. I've been meaning to see it on DVD. I finally did watch it last weekend. I mean, this is the movie with Jennifer Lawrence, who won, the Academy Award. Bradley Cooper, who we know from The Hangover. Of course, Robert De Niro from The Godfather, among other movies. And, of course, Chris Tucker was in this movie as well. I liked Silver Linings Playbook. Out of 4 stars, I would give it 3. I thought it was a really, really good movie. I thought the acting was good. I thought Jennifer Lawrence was tremendous. I thought she deserved the Oscar. I thought Bradley Cooper was good. I mean, you know him in The Hangover. You know him in that scene. But he was good in this movie, and a very tough part to play. De Niro's always good. Chris Tucker played a good part. I like this movie. Out of 4 stars, I would give it 3. I definitely recommend this movie. From the movies last year, I think I might rank this movie second behind Life of Pi as the movies I enjoyed the most. I liked Life of Pi first. I liked Silver Linings Playbook second. I liked Zero Dark 30 third. And I liked Argo fourth. Now remember, Argo won the award, but I really liked Silver Linings Playbook. And I went into this movie didn't think I was going to like it. I did not think I was going to like it, so I was pleasantly surprised. I would give it 3 out of 4. I would definitely recommend this movie. Jennifer Lawrence, very good, deserved the Oscar. All right, so that's kind of a couple movies. You know, if you want to see something on DVD, something in the theater, a couple movies to check out there. Okay, you guys, you're all caught up for the weekend. You guys, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the games. Stay safe. Thanks for the support. Thanks for tuning in as always. I will be back with you Monday. We'll recap everything that went on in I'm sure will be a wild sports weekend. We got our NBA playoffs. We got our NHL playoffs. We got the Preakness. We got our Major League Baseball. A lot going on this weekend. We will recap it all on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. Stay safe. Take care.